Hi all, welcome to the 11th edition of Professional Visa and Education Services News Update. My name is Nish, I'm the Registered Migration Agent in Australia and also Director of Professional Visa and Education Services. Now today I'm going to talk about transferring your university or colleges. Now we have been getting a lot of students in our office recently. Obviously it's a time of the year where people would like to change their education provider because of the July intake. Now some misconception from our international student, mainly on changing the education provider before completing 6 months of their principal course. So when I say principal course, if you are doing package program when you came from your country, when I say package program, diploma leading to bachelor's or certificate 3 leading to diploma and finally leading to bachelor's, some sort of package program. If you're doing package program, your principal course is the final course, which is your bachelor's course in this particular example. Okay, so if you haven't finished your 6 months on your principal course, you won't be able to change the education provider. Now don't mistake yourself with this SSVF new changes from 1st of July, that just because this new system came into place where there's no SVP and non-SVP, don't mistake yourself that you will be able to change your education provider without getting release letter or without permission from the education provider itself before completing 6 months of your principal course. However, there are ways that people are changing the education provider, which we're not going to talk about that. Basically, those some of the pathways that guys are choosing, they're a little bit risky, and it opens immigration to ask a lot of questions in terms of genuine temporary entrant, which is a GTE criteria. So GTE criteria means that you have to demonstrate that you are a genuine student and you wanted to continue the course that you chose when you came to Australia. Well, before you came to Australia, obviously you must have chosen a certain course and you must have justified immigration that you would like to continue that when you come to Australia. When you finish, you would like to go back to your own country. Now GTE is a very important criteria, so if you can't demonstrate that you're a genuine student, there might be a lot of questions from immigrations. However, what I'm going to tell you today is what are the ways that you can obtain release letter from university or colleges. Now obviously if you have a compelling and compassionate situation where it's beyond your control, like you have some medical emergency or you're suffering from some workplace injuries, or you're not coping with the academic quality of the education that's been provided in Australia, and you've been failing a lot of subjects. Now these are some of the compelling and compassionate situation you will be able to demonstrate that when you write a release letter to your education providers. Now I'll take you through some process in terms of writing release letter and also the appealing process. Now I just wanted to get you guys familiar with the ESOS. So it's the Education Department, and particularly in terms of National Code Part D Standard 7 and National Code Part D Standard 8, and that's all you need to know in terms of the applying for the release letter. Now if you haven't finished 6 months of your principal course, if there is a compelling and compassionate situation, you can ask your education provider to release you, and don't be afraid in terms of this is not going to impact your visa condition just by asking a release letter because you have a compelling compassionate situation. Talk to your student advisor because they will help you, and if they're very strict and they're not listening to you, and obviously there's a process to do that. Okay, now I'll take you through some brief process, but if you need help in terms of changing education provider, and if you do have a compelling compassionate situation and you truly believe that you deserve to be in a better university or colleges, then please come and see us. Now the process is you apply for a release letter, and by law the education provider, they have to follow the best practice of replying your release letter request within 10 days, 10 working days. So education provider, they have to reply you in terms of whether or not they're going to grant you release letter or they're going to refuse your release letter, but they have to also define the reason for refusing your release letter. Not just that, it has to be clearly written on your letter the appealing process. Now obviously there's an internal appealing process in every education provider, so you have to follow the internal appealing process. So after your release letter, say for example, is refused, then you can go and apply for appeal, and it's an internal appeal. Now the internal appeal, same thing, they have to actually come back to you. The good practice is 10 days for education providers. So if they come back to you within 10 days and the outcome is still negative, be mindful to read the letter from the education provider, because by law they have to inform international students why they have actually rejected your appeal. They have to also give you a guidance in terms of if the student would like to take this appeal outside, there's a New South Wales Ombudsman. Now if you're doing foundation studies, New South Wales Ombudsman is the body, and if you're doing anything higher education, then overseas ombudsman is where you need to go. So there's two bodies. So don't waste your time going to the ombudsman which is not related to your field. Now there are a lot of time education providers are making this blunder mistake where they're putting an appeal process for a student, but they haven't put the right contact for a student to apply for appeal. Okay, so be mindful. Now in terms of National Code Part D and Standard 8 from Education Department, what it tells you is every education provider has to clearly outline the reason for the refusal in terms of releasing the international students, and also clearly label what is the external appealing process. Okay, so if you wanted to appeal to New South Wales Ombudsman, they're very easy. Now once you contact them, you tell them your story, what happened, and then obviously they'll draft the complaint from you, and they'll provide you with the reference number. Now if your case is really serious, obviously this is all worthwhile to go through this whole process, because once you get the release letter, obviously you can choose the education provider that you would like to pursue your future education. Now if you do need help in terms of applying release letter, don't hesitate, because obviously if your situation is serious and if we need to act on your behalf, if you need some guidance in terms of how to approach education providers and all, that's what we're here for. Obviously we'll ascertain your situation, we'll assess your situation, and we'll help you produce the documentation which will make your case a little bit stronger. But as I say, there's a lot of education providers, they're failing at the moment, and I can say that in this video, they're failing to provide with the right pathway to do the appeal, because I do have some evidence, and I've been actually fighting with New South Wales Ombudsman as I speak. That's it for today. We'll look, as I said, transferring college and university, don't be mistaken by this new SSVF system. It's got nothing to do with that primary 6 months thing. The ESOS Standard 7 still existed. Now if you do have any questions or confusion about the whole SSVF and the confusion about SVP and non-SVP and changing education providers, please do feel free to contact us. Our phone number is 9007 4409 02 at the front, New South Wales, and you can visit us in our website www.provisa.com.au, or you can drop us a line in Facebook. So our Facebook is Professional Visa and Education Services. As I say, my name is Nish. Feel free to contact us. We'll provide you with a free half-an-hour consultation. In that consultation, you can probably decide whether or not it's the best pathway that we have actually offered you, or probably you'd like to take a different options. Now that's it for today. I'll be back again next Monday with more exciting news and more tips. Obviously quickly I wanted to tell you something about the general skill migration as well. Now there has been some spot available for accountants in regional area auditors, internal auditors and external auditors. However, it's a far south, so in New South Wales, but you need 2 years experience. Now if you do have a 2 years experience in the field and you have been positively assessed, we can lodge a regional migration for you guys as well. So that's something that I wanted to put on top of this transferring college. So as I said, I'll be back again next Monday with more update. Until then, I see you later. Have a good night. Bye bye.